Good morning and welcome to Hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to six, and the general manager of Dan Cummins Chevrolet Buick in Paris, Kentucky, the second largest used car franchise dealer in the United States of America. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Man, good morning, guys. Good morning. Time is like flying on me this morning. I was sitting there writing, taking some notes, and doing some different stuff. I don't even know where my pen is right now. I was sitting there writing, taking notes and everything. Here, there's my pen. Hold on. But yeah, sitting there, and then all of a sudden I looked up, and it was like, oh, it's 5:28. I was like, my goodness, man. This morning is flying. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Rise and Grind. Who do I got with me today? It is Tuesday, February 13th, 2018. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I was like, oh, I got to jump on. All right, what do we got? We got Tom Sizemore. Good morning. My man R.C. Hazard. What's up? Beth Workman. Good morning. Nick Hadley in the house. Sheila Marie, Jeffrey Lee Parton, John Hanks, and Carrie Osborne. Good morning. What's up, guys? I am feeling great this morning. Aaron Jones has joined me. Robbie Toomey's joined me. Of course, Chris Brooks, I can always count on you. R.C. Hazard says it's fire time. Fire, boy, fire. What's up, Sean Hayes? Clayton. Speaking of Clayton, that's not Clayton. Where's Clayton Lesack? Clayton Lesack's probably tired because that dude sold 4 cars yesterday, man. Clayton Lesack, let me tell you guys, he's one of my new guys. He actually found us online. He was searching for some Grant Cardone stuff, found us online, decided he was going to change his life, never sold cars before, and the dude is on fire. He's in the top 5 for the dealership right now and sold 4 stinking cars yesterday. He is the man. Oh, there he is. I see Clayton, and he's in here rising and grinding today. Dude, we have had an incredible weekend. I have had an incredible weekend. I hope you've had an incredible weekend. My man Scott Simon, Scott Terry, good morning. Carrie, good morning. I know you're always up early. Look, she's in Punta Cana, and she's up. What's up, man? All right, check it out. We are going to talk about a couple things today, but ultimately we're going to talk about what are you going to leave? Are you going to leave your mark? Are you going to leave your legacy? Before I want to get into that, I want to thank you guys already because you guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. I have been working diligently for the last couple weeks. You guys said that you wanted some you guys said that you wanted some Rise and Grind gear. You said, Glenn, I need Rise and Grind gear. Glenn, I'm a part of this crew. I'm a part of this clique, and I want to represent. I need Rise and Grind gear. So I went ahead and put together some Rise and Grind gear, and just last night at like close to midnight, I went ahead and launched the site, launched the store. We already have over $1,200 in sales as of first thing this morning. So a round of applause to all my Rise and Grinders. But you can check it out. Just go to GlennLundy.com. You can get Rise and Grind gear there, GlennLundy.com. This thing's reflective, as you can see in the light. It's reflective type gear, which is cool. And anyways, you guys don't want to listen to a commercial first thing in the morning, but I'm just letting you know that the gear is up there. Now, let's talk about something. Back in 1956, a guy named Sam Cummins. Back in 1956, this guy named Sam Cummins decides that he is going to open a dealership in a place called Paris, Kentucky. And there was a series of events that led up to that point. There was a series of events that led up to him getting that dealership in Paris, Kentucky. But he ultimately makes this decision to open a car dealership in Paris, Kentucky, 62 years ago, I believe that is, if my math is right this morning. That decision that man made when he chose to, and I guarantee he was a Rise and Grinder. I've seen some pictures of him. The man's legit. But I guarantee you when he made that decision, it wasn't easy, of course. It wasn't easy to open a dealership in a tiny little town way off the grid. I'm sure there was a lot of fear. I'm sure he was scared. I'm sure he wasn't sure how it was going to end up, but ultimately he opens this dealership in 1956. He commits his life to it every day. He rises and grinds every single day. He ultimately has some kids. He grows the dealership. He sells the dealership to his son named Dan Cummins. He sells it to his son back in the 70s, and his son does the same thing. His son runs the dealership for a while, rises and grinds every day, commits to it, makes the decision that this is what he's going to do to take care of his family. And ultimately, so many years later, in January of 2011, he sells that dealership to his sons, Josh and Dusty Cummins. So now Josh and Dusty Cummins currently own the dealership, which is now the second largest used car franchise dealership in the United States of America. And thanks to that decision, when Josh and Dusty bought the dealership, they gave me an opportunity to work there, to provide for my family, and to start to make my mark, to start to create, tell my story, and create my legacy. So what I am trying to get at here is, where did it all begin? It all began with a simple decision made by a man back in 1956. Him opening the doors to this dealership then led to his son opening the doors, which led to their sons opening the doors, which ultimately opened the door for me. And then all of the people that I currently work with, the people that work for me and the people that we work with me, all because of this one decision. This is why creating and building a legacy is so important. It's so valuable, and we have to make sure that we're all focused on it. Your doors that you're knocking on today, the rising and grinding that you're doing today, this can affect people for generations and generations down the road. You have no idea how many opportunities you're unlocking. Sam Cummins opened the doors. He chose to rise and grind and face his fears. And now I've got 280 employees that are affected every day by that one single decision that man made 62 years ago. My goodness, man. This stuff fires me up, because I'm just telling you, making your mark is one thing, but leaving a legacy, that's incredible. And I'm going to talk to you, I read an article, I'm going to talk to you about a couple different ways that we can make sure to leave a legacy. We can make sure to leave our mark. There's Leanne Abney. You guys give Leanne Abney a shout out right this morning. She just hopped in here. She's got the Rise and Grind sleeveless tee as her profile pic. She was one of our models for the model shoot. Thank you, Leanne, for modeling the Rise and Grind gear. I appreciate it. So check it out. Here's how we're going to make sure to leave our legacy, okay? Here's how we make sure to leave our legacy. First thing that we have to do to make sure we leave our legacy is we have to make sure that we support the people and the causes that are important to us. You have to support the people and the causes that are important to you. Look at Martin Luther King Jr. That man supported the people and the causes that were important to him. He was willing to die for them. He went out and he said, quit treating my people this way. I will stand up when they cannot. I will be a voice when they cannot. I will be loud when they are soft. He stood up for the people and the causes that were important to him. And he ultimately created this legacy that allowed my parents to be able to get married, this legacy that allowed my parents to be able to live and exist in a world where, even though it was frowned upon at the time, they had a mixed child named Glenn Lundy that is now in 2018 rising and grinding and trying to make a difference in people's life every single day, all because that man chose to stand up. Because he chose to stand up. I am now the general manager with brown skin at a little country dealership in Paris, Kentucky. All because one man decided to support the people and the causes that were important to him. So if you want to leave your legacy, make sure you support the people and the causes that are important to you. Now, secondly, if you want to create a legacy, which I'm sure if you're rising and grinding with me today, you absolutely want to create your own legacy. So if you want to create your own legacy, you have to take the things in your life that you've learned. You have to take this story that God has given you, and you have to figure out, what have I learned that I can now use to help others? You see, my story has homelessness. My story has broke. My story has drugs. My story has jail. My story has me living in 17 different states. My story has all kinds of ups and downs, rises and falls. My story has them all. And when I look back, I think, okay, great. God gave me this story for a reason. He gave me this story so that I could now help you. He gave me, he taught me what it's like to party every single night and be a drunk so that I could connect with people who party every single night and are drunks, so that I can help them, so that I could say, hey, there's another way. There's another way. There's a better way. And I know because I've been there. I've done that. So make sure that you take a look, reflect at the things that you've learned in your life and figure out what from your experiences, what can you do to help others? What can you take from the story that God has given you? Now, the next thing we got to do, of course, first we have to support the people and the causes that are important to us. Then we got to take we got to reflect and look back at our own story and figure out, why did God give me this story and what can I do to help others with it? And then we have to make sure to share our blessings, not negativity. Okay, you will become a leader. People will start to follow you. You will be able to influence people's lives when you start to share the blessings that God has put on this earth versus sharing all the negative crap that nobody wants to hear. Nobody wants to follow Mr. Negative. Nobody wants to follow, nobody wants to learn anything from the guy that's whining, complaining, and moaning all the time. Nobody wants to learn anything from that guy. You have to share your blessings, man. And in doing so, in sharing your blessings with those around you, it forces you to look at all of the blessings that are around you. And when you start to put off a positive light, this ray of sunshine, you'll begin to create a legacy. My dad had the greatest smile. He had the absolute greatest smile. When that man passed away, he passed away at 52 years old. But I tell you, the guy used to make people laugh. He made me laugh. You could see his smile a mile away. I would go as far as to say that was my father's legacy. He helped with kids. He refereed basketball games, and he would dance around the court, and he would just smile. He would just smile so big. And that ray of sunshine that came out, that whenever he smiled, the way that he lit up a room, I'll remember it forever. I'll remember it forever. That was a legacy that my father left for me. So no negativity. Share your blessings with others. Remember the story that God has given you. Reflect on it and figure out how you can use that to help others. And make sure to support people and causes that are important to you. Now, that's 3 parts of creating your legacy, but we still have 2 other things that we have to do in order to truly create a great legacy. We don't want to just leave our mark, right? We want to create a legacy. And the next thing that we have to do is we have to become a mentor to others. In order to have a legacy, you must help others grow. Period. Hands down, have to do it. You cannot create a legacy any other way. You cannot create a legacy by just being selfish and doing for you and stepping on people to try to get to the top and just focusing on your money and just grinding and that's all I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep my blinders on and I'm not going to help other people. You cannot create a legacy by doing that. It will not happen. It is impossible. In order to create a legacy, we must help others grow. I've got shirts in the I Grind gear that say we rise by lifting others. I did an episode last week about we rise by lifting others. If you truly want to create a legacy, you must lift the people up around you and make them better. Be a servant. Be a servant leader. Be a servant to them, to the people around you. Be a servant to your spouse. Be a servant to your kids. Lift them up and make them better. The last thing that you have to do, and we're running late today, but that's okay. The last thing that you have to do in order to truly leave a legacy on this earth, on this planet. I know you guys want to do this. I know you want to leave a legacy. I know you understand that you have to support people and causes that are important to you. I know you understand that you have to take your story, reflect on it, and use it to help others. I know you understand that you have to share your blessings with other people and not be negative. And I know you understand that you have to be a mentor to others. But here's the last and most crucial component to actually creating a legacy that will last forever. You must pursue, and define the word pursue, okay? Chase after. Relentlessly. Chase after. You must pursue your passions. You have got to figure out what it is you are passionate about, and you must pursue it relentlessly if you truly want to leave your legacy. I was in a meeting with Josh Cummins yesterday. Josh Cummins was talking to all the new hires at the dealership. We just hired another 20-something people in the last 6 to 8 weeks. And Josh Cummins was talking to the people, and he was talking about who he was and where he's from. He was talking about his story of his father and his father's father. And he said something that I took offense to at first, but the more I thought about it, it was one of the truest statements Josh Cummins has ever said. Josh, and he kind of glanced at me out of the side of his face when he said it, but Josh said, I love this place. I love this place on a level that you will never be able to love it. And he kind of looked over at me, which I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I love Dan Cummins. I'm passionate about Dan Cummins. But he said something. He said, I love being here. I eat, sleep, and dream. Everything I do has to do with this dealership. I love it with a passion beyond anything that anyone can. I love it beyond anything that anyone could ever understand. And the reason being is because my name is on the sign. That's what the man said yesterday. His name is on that sign. His grandfather, Sam Cummins, back in 1956, put the Cummins name on that sign. And Josh and his brother Dusty are so incredibly passionate because their name is on the sign. And he's right. I am passionate about Dan Cummins. I really, truly am. But Dan Cummins is not my legacy. Dan Cummins is Josh's legacy. Dan Cummins is Sam's legacy. Dan Cummins is Dan's legacy. It's their name on their sign. What is going to be your legacy? What are you passionate about? What is your name going to be on? How are you going to, 60 years from now, what are people going to say about Jeffrey Lee? What are people going to say about Sean Hayes? What are people going to say about Ryan Smith? What are people going to say about Lena Rushford Barnes 60 years from now? That's my question I have for you today. Because I tell you what, 60 years from now, when people say Glenn Lundy, they're going to say, that guy used to rise and grind. That's what they're going to say about me. They're going to say that guy rise and grind. They're going to say that guy supported the people and the causes that were important to him. He jumped online. He did a radio podcast every single day, and he had a clothing line of gear to help motivate and inspire people. He loved to motivate and to educate and just everything that he did with a smile on his face, and he took his story that he learned from when he was young that God put him through, and he put it out there, and he shared his blessings with everybody with no negativity, and he took us all under his wing as a mentor. And golly, that guy had passion. Golly, that guy was on fire. That's what I'm talking about today. We got to focus on our legacy, guys. We got to focus on the mark that we're making for people 60 years from now. We have to be thankful for the legacy that was created for us 60 years ago. I don't do this every day for fun. I don't do this every day just because. I'm not getting up at 4:30 in the morning because I think it's cute. No, sir. No, sir. I got a legacy to create, man. I am the one. I was chosen. You are the one. You were chosen. You are a unique individual created by God. There is no one like you. You are a part of an elite group of people who choose to rise and grind. You have a passion and a fire in you that is contagious. It is affecting everyone around you, your friends, your family, your coworkers. I love you. I love that you're a part of this crew. I love you're a part of the group. I hope you'll jump on, get some Rise and Grind gear, represent. I hope that you guys will post pictures of yourselves in the Rise and Grind gear with the hashtag Rise and Grind. I hope that you guys will post in your feeds nothing but positivity and share it with the world so that you can help to lead others, so that you can use your stories and make a difference and start to create your legacy. I hope that you'll do those things. I hope that you'll do them today. I know that I will be here for you if you need me. You can reach out to me anytime. I will be here for you today. I'm gonna, God willing, I'll be here for you tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. Little side note, forgot to mention, hey, all the Rise and Grind gear, everything that we sell as far as the Rise and Grind gear, guys, that's all 10% of the proceeds going to the local YMCA here. Bourbon County YMCA, man, they've got an awesome organization here where they help out tons of kids, and so 10% is going to that, and everything else is just going to continue to fuel this fire, this group, this culture, this rise and grind that you are part of. Thank you guys so much. I am going to get out of here. I'm actually not going to the gym today. Today is Tuesday. Doc told me I had to stay off my knee so I can't play basketball. So I'm going to go wake my kids up. I'm going to go wake the kids up. Be like, hey, kids, rise and grind. You say you need some extra time with daddy. Let's go. That's what I'm going to do today. What are you going to do today? What kind of mark are you going to leave? Are you going to work on your legacy today? I hope you do. I hope you do. Because you're an incredibly special human being. Thank you for joining me on the Rise and Grind. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great, phenomenal, outstanding, excellent, what's another good word? Over the top, amazing day. See you guys.